Most people believe that love is won through effort. They think they need to say the perfect things, act in a certain way, or constantly prove their worth to another person. So they perform. They try to appear more interesting, more successful, more charming, and more desirable than they really feel inside. But there is a problem with this approach. The harder you try to impress someone, the more you communicate something you never intended to say. You communicate that you need their approval, and neediness is rarely attractive. Human beings are naturally drawn to confidence, not arrogance, not pretending to be superior, but the quiet confidence of a person who is comfortable with themselves. Think about the people who leave the strongest impression on others. They are often not the loudest people in the room. They are not desperately trying to gain attention. They are simply present. They are relaxed. They seem complete within themselves. There is something magnetic about a person who does not feel the need to prove their value. Because when you stop performing, people begin to see the real you. And authenticity creates connection. Many people enter relationships carrying a hidden fear. They fear rejection. They fear not being enough. They fear being overlooked. Because of these fears, they begin shaping themselves according to what they think the other person wants. They agree with everything. They hide parts of their personality. They constantly seek reassurance. They become so focused on being liked that they forget something important. Love cannot grow around a mask. Eventually, pretending becomes exhausting because you are no longer trying to build a genuine connection. You are trying to maintain an image. The truth is that attraction often begins when people feel comfortable around you. And people feel comfortable around you when you are comfortable with yourself. Confidence is contagious. When you accept yourself, others feel permission to be themselves around you as well. This creates trust. And trust is one of the foundations of emotional attraction. The irony is that the more desperately you try to impress someone, the more pressure you create. You begin overthinking every message, every conversation, every interaction. You stop enjoying the connection because you become obsessed with the outcome. But love rarely grows under pressure. It grows in ease. It grows in authenticity. It grows in the space where two people can simply be themselves. This is why the fastest way to become attractive is not to chase approval. It is to develop your own sense of worth. When you know your value, you stop trying to convince people to see it. You stop begging for attention. You stop needing constant reassurance. You become more relaxed, more present, and more genuine. And strangely enough, that is often when people become interested, because confidence creates curiosity. A person who seems happy with themselves feels safe, stable, and emotionally strong. People naturally gravitate toward that energy. The goal is not to make someone fall in love by becoming someone else. The goal is to become so comfortable with who you are that your presence feels real, calm, and effortless. Because the strongest connections are not built on performance, they are built on authenticity. And once you stop trying to impress someone, another powerful shift begins to happen naturally. Instead of focusing on being seen, you begin focusing on truly seeing and understanding the other person. And that is where real emotional connection starts. Once you stop trying to impress someone, a surprising thing happens. You begin paying less attention to how you are being perceived and more attention to the person standing in front of you. And this is where real connection begins. Most people want to be heard, but very few people want to listen. Most people enter conversations thinking about what they will say next, how they appear, or how they can make someone like them. As a result, they miss the most important thing of all. They fail to truly see the other person. Human beings have a deep desire that often remains hidden. They want to feel understood. They want someone to notice the emotions they never speak about. They want someone to understand their fears, dreams, insecurities, and hopes without judgment. This is incredibly rare. And because it is rare, it becomes powerful. Think about the people you have felt closest to in your life. Chances are they were not the people who talked the most. They were the people who made you feel understood, the people who listened carefully, the people who paid attention, the people who remembered small details, the people who made you feel like you mattered. This is one of the fastest ways to create emotional attraction, because when someone feels truly seen by you, they begin associating your presence with comfort and safety. And people naturally move toward those who make them feel emotionally safe. Many people think attraction is built through impressive words or perfect appearances, but often attraction is built through attention. Not the kind of attention that seeks validation, the kind of attention that gives value, the kind that says, I see you. This is why deep listening is so powerful. When someone speaks, listen beyond their words. Listen to their emotions, listen to their fears. Listen to what they are not saying, because people often reveal themselves indirectly. Their insecurities appear in small comments. Their dreams appear in passing conversations. Their pain hides behind their smiles. Most people miss these things because they are too focused on themselves. But when you notice these details, something changes. The other person feels understood. And being understood is one of the most intimate human experiences. This is also why genuine curiosity is attractive. Curiosity communicates care. It shows that you are interested in the person, not just in how they make you feel. Ask questions. Pay attention. Remember the things that matter to them, not as a technique, not as manipulation, but because people naturally become closer to those who make them feel important. There is another reason this works. When people talk about themselves, they often experience positive emotions, and over time, they begin associating those positive emotions with the person who made them feel comfortable enough to open up. This creates connection, real connection, not built on appearances, not built on performance, but built on understanding. And understanding creates trust. Trust creates emotional safety, and emotional safety creates attraction. The truth is that many people spend their lives searching for someone who truly sees them, someone who understands them without trying to change them, someone who listens without judgment, someone who makes them feel accepted. When you become that kind of person, you become memorable, because people may forget what you said, they may forget where they met you, but they rarely forget how you made them feel. And if you make someone feel seen, heard, and understood, they begin feeling something much deeper than simple attraction. They begin feeling emotional connection. And once that emotional connection is created, another important element enters the picture naturally. You must resist the urge to reveal everything about yourself, because attraction often grows strongest when there is still something left to discover. Once someone feels understood by you, a deeper connection begins to form. But this is also the moment when many people make a mistake. They reveal everything, every story, every secret, every emotion, every plan. They believe that complete openness will make the other person fall for them more quickly. But attraction often works differently. Attraction needs room to breathe. It needs curiosity. It needs discovery. There is something deeply fascinating about a person who cannot be completely understood in a single conversation. Human beings are naturally attracted to mystery. We value things that unfold slowly. We become curious about what we do not fully know. This is why the beginning of any meaningful connection often feels exciting. There are unanswered questions. There are things left to discover. Every conversation reveals something new, and that process of discovery creates emotional investment. The problem is that many people rush this process. They reveal everything too quickly because they fear losing the other person's interest. Ironically, in trying to become closer faster, they remove the very thing that creates intrigue. Mystery is not about pretending to be someone else. It is not about playing games. It is simply about understanding that you do not need to put your entire life on display immediately. Some things deserve time. Some parts of your personality should unfold naturally. Some stories become more meaningful when they are discovered slowly. Powerful people understand this. They do not hide who they are, but they do not rush to reveal everything either. They let people get to know them gradually. This creates anticipation. And anticipation is powerful. Think about your favorite books or films. What keeps you interested? It is usually not knowing everything from the beginning. It is the gradual unfolding of the story. Human relationships often work the same way. People become more emotionally invested when there is still something left to learn. This is why mystery creates attraction, because curiosity keeps attention alive. Another reason mystery is powerful is that it communicates confidence. A person who constantly reveals everything often does so because they seek reassurance. They want immediate closeness, immediate acceptance, immediate certainty. But someone who is comfortable with uncertainty appears different. They are patient, relaxed, emotionally secure, and emotional security is attractive. They do not feel the need to explain every detail about themselves. They trust that connection will develop naturally. This creates a calm presence, and calmness often feels mysterious. The truth is that some of the most attractive people are those who have rich inner lives, people with passions, dreams, thoughts, experiences. Not because they constantly talk about them, but because there is always more to discover. You never feel as though you know everything about them. There is always another layer, another perspective, another story. This keeps the connection alive. Many relationships lose excitement because everything becomes too predictable too quickly. There is no longer any sense of discovery, no curiosity, no mystery. But when two people continue revealing themselves gradually, they keep giving each other new reasons to remain interested. This does not mean becoming distant or emotionally unavailable. It simply means respecting the natural rhythm of connection, allowing people to earn access to different parts of your world, allowing trust to grow slowly, allowing curiosity to exist. Because not every beautiful thing needs to happen immediately. Some of the strongest connections are built through patience, through discovery, through moments where two people slowly realize that there is still so much more to learn about each other, and that feeling creates emotional excitement. The feeling that there is still something hidden, still something worth discovering, still something beautiful waiting beneath the surface, because attraction often grows strongest, not when someone knows everything about you, but when they sense there is still more to uncover. And once mystery begins creating curiosity, another important element naturally follows. People do not simply remember what you say or what you reveal. They remember how you make them feel, and those feelings often become the foundation of love itself. Once curiosity and mystery begin creating attraction, another powerful truth emerges. People may admire your appearance or remember your words, but they almost always fall in love with the feelings they experience around you. Human beings are emotional creatures. We like to believe that our decisions are completely logical, especially when it comes to relationships. But most deep connections are built on emotions. Think about the people who have left the biggest impact on your life. You may not remember every conversation you had with them. You may not remember every detail about them, but you remember how they made you feel. Perhaps they made you feel calm. Perhaps they made you feel understood. Perhaps they made you laugh when life felt difficult. Perhaps they made you feel accepted. Feelings create memories, and memories create attachment. This is why positive emotional experiences are so powerful. Many people try to create attraction by impressing someone. They focus on saying the right thing or looking perfect. But genuine connection often grows from something much simpler, creating moments that feel good, moments of comfort, moments of joy, moments of excitement, moments of peace. Because over time, the mind begins associating those positive emotions with the person who created them. This is one of the hidden reasons why some people become unforgettable, not because they were perfect, but because being around them felt different. Their presence felt safe, their energy felt light, their conversations felt meaningful, and those emotional experiences slowly built attachment. The truth is that everyone carries burdens, everyone has stress, everyone has fears and insecurities. So when someone enters your life and consistently makes you feel calmer, happier, and more alive, you naturally begin wanting more of their presence. This is how emotional attraction deepens. It grows through experiences, through memories, through feelings. Shared experiences are especially powerful. A simple walk a meaningful conversation, a spontaneous adventure, lawing together. Supporting one another during difficult moments, these experiences create emotional bonds because they become part of your personal story. And people often fall in love not only with a person, but with the experiences they shared with them. This is why being present matters. Many people are physically present but emotionally absent. They are distracted. They are thinking about themselves. They are worried about the future. But powerful connections happen when two people are fully present with each other, when someone feels that your attention is genuine, when they feel that in that moment they matter. Those moments become memories. And memories become feelings. Another important truth is that people often seek emotional experiences they cannot easily find elsewhere. Peace is rare. Understanding is rare. Acceptance is rare. A person who brings these experiences into someone else's life becomes deeply valuable. This does not mean becoming responsible for another person's happiness. No one can carry that burden. It simply means becoming someone whose presence generally leaves people feeling better than before, because emotional energy is contagious. Some people drain your energy, others restore it. Some people create anxiety, others create peace. Some people create tension, others create comfort. The people we love most are often those whose presence feels like home, and home is not a place. It is a feeling, the feeling that you can be yourself, the feeling that you are accepted, the feeling that life becomes a little lighter in their presence. That feeling creates emotional attachment because at the end of the day, people remember emotions far longer than details. They remember how you made them laugh, how you made them feel safe, how you made difficult moments easier, how you made ordinary moments meaningful. And when enough beautiful emotions and memories are created, attraction begins turning into something much deeper. But there is one final secret that makes these feelings even stronger. Never make another person the center of your world, because the most attractive people are often those who already have a meaningful world of their own. After creating emotional connection and meaningful experiences, there is another truth that many people struggle to understand. The fastest way to lose attraction is to make another person your entire world. At first, this sounds romantic. Many people believe love means giving someone all of your attention, all of your time, and making them the center of your existence. But human nature often reacts differently. People are deeply attracted to those who have a life of their own, a purpose, a mission, dreams they are pursuing, passions that make them come alive, because there is something magnetic about a person who wakes up every day with direction. Purpose creates energy, and energy creates attraction. Think about the people who inspire others. They are usually building something, learning something, growing into something. They are not sitting around waiting for someone else to complete them. They already have a relationship with their own life, and that relationship makes them interesting. Many people unknowingly make a dangerous mistake when they begin liking someone. They slowly abandon their hobbies, their goals, their routines, their friendships, their personal growth. Everything starts revolving around one person, every thought, every decision, every emotion. At first, it may feel like love, but over time, it often becomes dependence, and dependence creates pressure. Because when someone becomes your entire world, you unconsciously place a heavy burden on them. You expect them to provide all your happiness, all your excitement, all your meaning. No person can carry that responsibility forever. Healthy attraction works differently. Two complete individuals choose to walk together while still maintaining their own identity. They support one another, they enjoy each other's company, but they do not lose themselves in the process. This creates balance, and balance is attractive. There is something incredibly appealing about someone who has ambitions, someone who is passionate about their work, someone who is excited about learning and growing, someone who continues building their life even while building a relationship, because purpose communicates confidence. It shows that your happiness does not depend entirely on another person. It shows emotional stability. It shows that you have depth, and depth creates attraction. Think about why mystery and independence are so powerful. When someone has their own goals in their own world, there is always something interesting happening in their life. They have stories, experiences, challenges, growth. Their life continues moving forward. And this movement creates energy. People are naturally drawn toward energy, toward passion, toward purpose. The opposite is also true. When someone abandons everything for another person, they often lose part of what made them attractive in the first place. Their confidence begins to fade, their individuality disappears, their world becomes smaller, and eventually, the relationship begins carrying too much weight. This is why the strongest relationships are often formed by two people who continue growing individually while growing together. Love should add to your life, not replace it. A relationship should be part of your world, not your entire world. When you continue pursuing your purpose, something beautiful happens. You become more interesting, more confident, more fulfilled. And ironically, this often strengthens attraction because people love being around those who are alive with purpose. People love being around those who are excited about life. People love being around those who are becoming something. Purpose gives you a sense of direction that no relationship alone can provide. And when you have direction, you become emotionally stronger. You become less needy, less desperate, less afraid of losing someone. Because your life has meaning beyond one person, this creates freedom. And freedom is deeply attractive. The truth is that the people who create the strongest relationships are not those who desperately need love. They are those who already have a meaningful life and choose to share it with someone else, because love grows best when it is built between two complete people, not between two people trying to complete each other. And once you have built a life filled with purpose and direction, there is only one final lesson left. Stop trying to force love to happen and learn the incredible power of allowing connection to grow naturally in its own time. After learning to stop impressing people, creating emotional connection, building mystery, sharing meaningful experiences, and developing a life filled with purpose, there is one final lesson that brings everything together. Stop trying to force love. This may be the hardest lesson of all, because when we truly like someone, we naturally want certainty. We want to know where we stand. We want feelings to grow quickly. We want the relationship to move exactly as we imagine. And because of this desire, many people begin chasing. They overthink every interaction. They try to control every outcome. They push for answers before feelings have had time to develop. But love rarely responds well to pressure. Real connection needs space. It needs patience. It needs time. You cannot force someone to feel something before they are ready. You cannot manufacture genuine emotions. And the more desperately you try, the more unnatural the connection begins to feel. Think about some of the strongest relationships you have seen. Most of them did not happen because one person forced everything into place. They happened because two people slowly grew closer. Trust developed, understanding deepened. Memories were created. Feelings emerged naturally. The strongest forms of love often grow quietly, like a tree. You cannot pull on a tree to make it grow faster. You cannot demand that it bloom tomorrow. You simply provide the right conditions and allow time to do its work. Relationships are very similar. You create connection, you create trust, you create meaningful experiences, and then you allow feelings to unfold. Many people become impatient because they are afraid of uncertainty. They believe that if they stop chasing, they will lose the person. But sometimes the opposite is true. Sometimes chasing creates distance because desperation creates pressure, and pressure often pushes people away. There is something deeply attractive about a person who is patient, a person who enjoys the present moment without constantly demanding answers. A person who understands that meaningful relationships cannot be rushed. This kind of patience communicates emotional security. It says, I value this connection, but I do not need to control it. That energy feels safe. It feels calm. And calmness creates trust. Another reason patience is powerful is that it protects authenticity. When people rush relationships, they often ignore important truths. They ignore incompatibilities. They overlook red flags. They become attached to an idea instead of truly knowing the person. But when you allow relationships to develop naturally, you give both people time to reveal who they really are. This creates stronger foundations because love built on reality lasts much longer than love built on fantasy. There is also another beautiful truth hidden inside patience. When you stop trying to force outcomes, you become more present. You enjoy conversations instead of analyzing them. You appreciate moments instead of worrying about the future. You become relaxed. And relaxed people are often more attractive because they create comfort rather than pressure. The irony is that the less desperately you chase love, the more naturally it often comes to you. Because people are drawn toward those who are emotionally secure, toward those who enjoy connection without trying to possess it, toward those who can appreciate someone deeply while still remaining at peace with uncertainty. This is emotional maturity, understanding that you can give your best, create meaningful connections, and still allow life to unfold naturally. Because love is not something you can force into existence, it is something that grows. Quietly, potterly, naturally, the fastest way to make someone fall in love with you is not manipulation, perfection, or endless effort. It is becoming a person who is authentic, emotionally present, mysterious, purposeful, and secure enough to let genuine connection grow in its own time. And when you stop chasing love and start embodying these qualities, you often discover that the people who are meant to stay begin moving closer to you without being forced at all.